Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Quantum Leap Futures Morning Leap session for Monday, November the 5th, 2018. My name is Doug McKay. I'm the founder of Quantum Leap Futures. Each morning we get together in these live go-to sessions to take a look at the market macro and micro, take a look at the structure of the market, and then we drill down to our trade levels, our targets, and our hypotheses. Our hypotheses are our trade plans. We do create multiple trade plans. Nobody can predict what the market's going to do. Therefore, we have multiple plans. Wait for the market to open up, show us who's taking control, and then execute the plan that best suits the market. This is a subscription room. If you're interested in checking it out, send me an email at quantumleapfutures@gmail.com. There's no website. There's no blog. It's not a commercial venture. We do this live in the go-to. Then we do live trading and analysis during the course of the regular trading hours. Please read through the disclaimer. Nobody at Quantum Leap is a certified trading advisor. Past performance is not indicative of future results, and any trades that you see in Quantum Leap are for education purposes only. Please trade your own due diligence, your own trade plan, your own risk metrics. So taking a look at Friday. Friday we opened auction. We tried to hold above the prior day, came down, tested the prior day, and then we got inside of it. And once we got inside of it, we traversed it, broke through the bottom, found buyers, came back up, had this big spike. I think this was news related, and then we basically went sideways around the 2719 area. It was a bearish engulfing day, so keep that in mind. Even though it didn't close right at the low, it did close below the half, and it was a engulfing day. So just keep that in mind in terms of where we are in terms of context. Taking a look at the news. We don't have a lot of news today. We've got market composite PMI in 56 minutes. Then at 10 o'clock, we've got ISM non-manufacturing PMI. This is today, right? Yep. Non-manufacturing PMI, that will be the big one. Then we have 3, 6, and 3 and 6 at 11:30 bill auction, and then 3-year note at 1 o'clock. Then we've got tentative loan officer survey at some point in time today. Just taking a look at what's in check for this week. Tuesday, 8:30, we've got building permits coming out of Canada. Then we've got 10 o'clock, we've got JOLTS. 11:30 for 4-week and 52-week and 8-week, and then 1 o'clock 10-year note API. On Wednesday at 8:30, nothing big at 8:30, but at 10 o'clock we've got IV PMI out of Canada, and we've got crude inventories at 10:30 and all its associates. And then on Thursday, what do we got? Continuing jobs. So nothing really big on Thursday until we do get an FOMC statement at 2 o'clock on Thursday, which is weird that it's on Thursday rather than Wednesday. Fed interest rate decision, so we get a Fed on a Thursday rather than a Wednesday, and that's very rare. And then Friday, we've got core PPI. We've got a Fed member speaking, and then we've got the Michigan consumer confident and expectations. And then we've got the Hughes Baker. So weird that we're getting that Fed decision on a Thursday rather than a Wednesday. Now, keep in mind that this is midterm elections this week. So everything's going to be really being driven from news-related events in terms of the midterms this week. Taking a look at the Earnings, there's not a lot of earnings today. We've got some news out, but again, a little bit more mixed now, not as great as it's been all along. Aftermarket, we've got Booking, Marriott, Occidental, Milan, Oasis. So for the most part, the big names have already reported, so earnings are starting to wind down. They're not through yet. Each day I like to look at the macro to micro. I start with a simple candlestick chart, start on a monthly, start working my way down through the periodicity. What I'm looking at is where are we in terms of the trend of that period? Are we, trending? Do we have good slope and separation? Is price paralleling the 9 nicely? Wonderful trend up until this point. We come down and challenge it, but then don't break it, and then we get the continuation. Now we're coming down, and we actually tested below the 9 and the 20, but popped up, and currently having trouble getting back above the 9. So we're still within a decision point here on whether or not we get continuation up or we get a move down. Weekly is still in a negative trend. We do have slope and separation to the downside. We don't challenge the downward trend that started until we get above 2780 on the weekly. Going to the daily, we were in a decent downtrend, good slope, good separation, and we've taken it back last week, but we're struggling to get and hold above the 20, and we're coming back down and testing the 9. We've got a LVN as well at 21 from overnight. We'll talk about that in a minute. Going down to the intraday, the 4-hour. 4-hour is basically going sideways, but again, struggling to get above and hold the 9 and the 20, and then going to the 30-minute. And so we can see we basically going sideways. Actually, at a very, very tight range, considering what we've seen. Our average true range, full session ATR is running at 60.61, and you can see that in the Globex, we had fairly small range, 29.50 down to 17.75, but definitely a double distribution with the mid and the LVN here at the 21. So we want to pay attention to that. That's going to be our over-under line today. Overnight high, 29.50. Overnight low, 12.75. Inventory is pretty balanced here. So again, I think that we're waiting on election, and we could have a balancing day today since we had this bearish engulfing. And the bearish engulfing we are inside of right now. So we're having an inside Globex, and we're likely, there's a possibility that we have an inside RTH as well. So taking a look at the big picture, going to the structure. So we're still inside this this microcomposite VPOC that has the VPOC that shifted from the 27.50 up into the 31 area. We did move down, test the value area low, tested the 2600 again, found buyers, gapped up. Last 3 days, we've got balance around the 23.25, but this whole area right here that has us breaking down out of this balance, the VPOC is down here at the 2712 50 area, which is right where our low was overnight. So we came down, found those buyers again and rotated back up, and we're likely to chop around in this distribution. Key line in the sand below 2707, key line in the sand above 2750.50. Each side of this distribution. Below the 2700, I think we test back into the 2600s and the next key area here at 2693. And if we can't hold that, then a move back down into this lower balance area and the value area low down at 2664 and a quarter, with the 3-day VPOC being down at the 54 area. Above the 2750, we're looking for a move up into testing the value area high at 2758. Anything above that, we're looking for the move back up into the 2771 area and into the balance that we just fell out of, and come down here. So taking a look at the levels from overnight high 2950, overnight low 1275. Daily ATR is running at 60.61, so the upside daily ATR is all the way up here at 27.73 and a quarter, and the downside daily ATR is 26.69. Now the difficult part of this is it's a big range, okay, and a big move without breaching the average true range. So we are not seeing the OTF participation in the Globex as we've seen. We're likely to get a tighter range today, just waiting on these elections. Our over-under line is going to be 21 and a quarter. We have the overnight, the VPOC from yesterday at 20. The overnight VPOC is all the way down at 17. So put that in at 17. If we get below that 21, that is going to be the primary target. And then if we get continuation, the overnight low and key target down here at 12, and our key line in the sand. And also just near the November open. Our November open is 27.08. Below that, I think we get the bigger move into the gap zone and a test of that next key line in the sand below, which is down at the 93. Above, we've got the overnight high and the microcomposite VPOC, the longer time frame that basically is our yearly VPOC, 2731.50. Above that, we get above the value area. We get into this thin area and a move up into the 2140 and a possible test to the key line in the sand above. So because it's elections, I'm looking for a balancing day today with the bias to the upside. So I'm looking for an open auction in range, in value. I'm looking for a move down into the 17 and somewhere between the 17 and the 07. I'm looking for buyers to step in and rotate us up into the 31, chop around here, but come back and close somewhere down here. I'm not looking for a lot of range today in my Hypo 1 or my Hypo 2. Hypo 2 is the opposite, open auction, out in range and value, a move up into the 31 and somewhere between 31 and 41, looking for sellers to step in, rotate us down through into targeting that 17 to 12 area, and then finding buyers here and moving up and closing somewhere in around the 21 area. That is Hypo 1 and Hypo 2, which are equally weighted. Hypo 3 is a trend up, a open test drive, leaving the value area low alone, finding buyers, taking us up into the 31, chopping up here, and then moving up and breaking above the 2750 and coming up here, and the target is 2760 and a quarter, and a break back above Friday's high. That is Hypo 3. Hypo 4, which is equally weighted to Hypo 3, is a breakdown day, open auction, in range, failure to get above the 3150. Sellers take control early, bring us down, break us below the 2707, and then come down here into the 2793, push through, close the gap, push down into the 69 area, find buyers, and rotate and close back up here in the 2695 area. That is Hypo 4. So those are my main hypotheses. Again, looking for a balancing day with an upside bias, but equally weighted against a balancing day with a downside bias. But I'm only looking for about 20 to 30 points of range, not the 60 that we're seeing in our average true range. Taking a look at gold. Gold continues to balance in around the 34 to 32 area. We did get a VPOC shift up into the 34, but we're having trouble holding that. Keep an eye on this 25, 26 area. That's important to hold. If we break below that, then a move down to the 13. And this time, like I said, the next time down here, I don't think it's going to hold. I think we move back down into the testing the 1200 and the 1202 area. If we can hold this area, rotation back up into balance into the 34 and a push through, and then a break up and a move up into the 45. Anything above 45, looking for the next break up into the next leg up into the 1266 area. That's going to complete our pre-market session. As always, trade well, trade safe, and we'll catch you on the flip side.